Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Smoketown. It's wonderful to be with you all here this morning. Thanks to all of our great friends and partners from across the city for joining us for this incredibly important, exciting, and announcement about progress. Welcome to the home of the future Community Care Campus. We announced the initial ideas and plans for this campus last January, less than a month after I first took office as mayor. And this is a groundbreaking and innovative approach to dealing with the challenges of homelessness, to ensuring that we have safe and healthy streets in Louisville for everyone. Individuals and families across our city, across our Commonwealth, are experiencing homelessness. And among the people who are experiencing homelessness, a lot of them suffer from a variety of physical and mental health conditions. In fact, many of them need more than just shelter. They need medical care, what's called medical respite services, so they can recover from an injury or an illness, so they can then become healthy enough to take meaningful steps to keep improving their lives. So I want to first briefly thank our friends at Family Health Centers and the other local healthcare providers like U of L Health, Norton Healthcare, and so many others for the work they're already doing in our community to provide these important medical services to so many who are in need. Thank you to everyone in the medical community for providing this much needed physical and mental health services. Since last year, we have completely revamped our Homeless Services Division, which is now fully funded and fully staffed. Our administration is doing homeless outreach and encampment responses every day. We're paying our outreach workers a living wage to ensure we have professional outreach and a stable workforce. We're reaching people within 1 day of a report coming into our offices. We're allocating over $1 million to our nonprofit partners in priority areas like shelter, inclement weather, and case management. We are making significant progress, but we have done a lot, and addressing homelessness is something that my administration will continue working on every day as long as I am mayor. And while we have made great strides with what we have done in the past year and a half, we still have a lot of work to do. But let me be clear. The streets of Louisville are in a much better place today than they were 18 months ago. They are cleaner, they are more accessible, and they are safer for everyone. And so I want to thank, before we talk about all the great work that is coming, I want to thank my colleagues throughout Louisville Metro government. I want to thank the folks in the Homeless Service Division, in Resilience and Community Services, in Public Works, at LMPD, Deputy Mayor George, Deputy Mayor James, and so many other people who are working every day to ensure we provide the support that individuals who are homeless need, to ensure that we're working to provide more shelter, and to ensure that we are working to make all of our streets safe and healthy for everyone in Louisville. Thank you so much to these dedicated public servants. So while we have made great strides, there is still a lot of work to do. And the reality is that there is no one cause of homelessness. And similarly, there's not one solution either. And there's not one single entity that can solve this challenge by itself. But friends, we can solve this together through partnerships like we're announcing today. With focus, resources, and hard work, we will solve this, one person at a time if we have to. We are going to remain hyper-focused on the challenges of homelessness, on ensuring that we have safe and healthy streets throughout all of Louisville. And that's why I'm so proud of this announcement here today, and so excited about the future, about this robust public-private partnership that is represented here today. There are a lot of people to thank. I want to first thank my colleagues on the Metro Council. I saw Councilwoman Rui, I see Councilman Owen and others on the Metro Council for their support of the Community Care Campus and other programs that Louisville Metro government is offering to support people who are experiencing homelessness. I also want to give a tremendous thanks to everyone in the General Assembly, some of whom are here with us today, some of whom you're going to hear from today, so I'm going to circle back to them in a minute. But this project would not be happening without the strong relationship between Louisville and our state government, and in particular, our General Assembly, who sees needs in Louisville and has been responding to those needs with action and investment. We'll talk more about that in a moment. We're also going to hear from another amazing partner that we have on this project, and that is Volunteers of America, led by their president and CEO, Jennifer Hancock. Volunteers of America is going to be the operating partner for the Community Care Campus. And we have seen across this city, we have seen in Manchester, Kentucky, we have seen in other parts of Kentucky, the positive, impactful work that Jennifer and her team at Volunteers of America make every day to improve lives of Kentuckians all across our state. And so we could not have a better partner than Jennifer and Volunteers of America to build and operate the Community Care Campus. Jennifer, we're so excited to be with you and your team today. All of us at Metro Council, in the General Assembly, Volunteer of America, and Louisville Metro government, we are all working together on this in partnership because we strongly believe in this vision for the Community Care Campus. And this vision came out of conversations from people across the entire city who know a lot about this issue. And these conversations helped us identify priority needs like family shelter, medical respite, and permanent supportive housing. Because even if we can't solve everything at once, these are areas where we can and will make meaningful, positive progress. So today, we're going to provide you on an update on the status of this project and make some exciting announcements about things that we're doing. First, I'm proud to announce that construction has officially begun on the Community Care Campus site. Our friends at Miranda have started work in the 3 buildings right behind or in front, depending on how you're sitting, right across the parking lot from us here today. And that's going to continue moving forward and increasing in the coming days and weeks. To start, we'll be renovating the building that will become the permanent family shelter for the campus next door. And Jennifer is going to be providing more information on all of this in a moment. Ultimately, the campus will also include traditional housing for young adults, a medical and behavioral health clinic, a community gathering space, an LMPD office and police activity league space, and VOA's headquarters with 75 employees right here on this site. And so it gives me great pleasure to make the first of many announcements that with the historic $100 million commitment of funds from the General Assembly that they made to invest in our downtown Louisville in the last session, that $22.5 million of those funds will be made available to fund the construction projects right here on the Community Care Campus. This is going to be an incredibly impactful investment, just as the General Assembly wanted. It's going to be an impactful investment for the people who are served by the shelter and support that they get. It's going to be impactful investment for Smoketown, for downtown Louisville, but for all of Louisville and in turn, all of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And so I want to thank our friends from the General Assembly who are here with us today. President Stivers, thank you so much for your leadership, for your commitment to Louisville, for your focus on our city and our state, and your willingness to engage in conversation, to listen to ideas, and then deliver in the General Assembly. Thank you so much. Thank you to Senator Neal. Thank you, Senator, for your representation of this district, who's we're in today in Senator Neal's district. Thank you for your advocacy of issues that are so important to all of us here in Louisville, for not being shy in Frankfort about expressing your views and working with us on impactful projects like this. You are a great friend, and we thank you very much for your leadership. Representative Rudy wins the award for traveling the furthest to be with us here today from Western Kentucky. But this is a great example of what this project is all about partnerships, about the similarities that cities like Louisville have with other cities like Paducah and elsewhere in our state. While our cities might be of different sizes, a lot of our cities share common issues. And this is going to be an innovative model that we're piloting here in Louisville, and that might be very applicable in districts like Representative Rudy's or others across the Commonwealth to address these issues. So Representative Rudy, thank you for being here. We look forward to hearing from you shortly. And finally, for our South Bend champion, Representative Rachel Rorks, who also has been such a strong advocate for addressing issues of homelessness, for supporting House Bill 1 that made this funding available. We appreciate what you are doing for all of our city, and we're excited to work with you and have you here with us here today. So first, yes, please, for Rachel. So before we get to our friends from the General Assembly, I'd like to first introduce the leader of Volunteers of America, who has been working so closely with so many of us at Louisville Metro government to make this project a reality, on top of everything else that VOA is doing every day to improve lives of Kentuckians all across our state. We are so excited to partner with Volunteers of America. We are so excited to partner with their president and CEO. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Jennifer Hancock.
Thank you so much, Mayor Greenberg, and good morning, everyone. About a year ago, Volunteers of America responded to an RFP from Louisville Metro government regarding the new community care campus. And after submitting our proposal to add a new family shelter and affordable housing project, we were honored to be asked to manage this entire campus. You know, Volunteers of America provides integrated care throughout our community, from affordable housing to behavioral health services for some of the most vulnerable in our community. And we've been doing so now for more than 127 years. And like all of you, every day we see how homelessness has increased on our city streets, and the need for more housing services has become even more urgent. My colleagues and I are ready and eager to address this challenge and opportunity for our city head-on by managing the C3. For the past several months, Louisville Metro Government, Louisville Metro Police Department, Norton Healthcare, U of L Health, Family Health Centers, Feed Louisville, YMCA Safe Place, the Coalition for the Homeless, and Miranda Construction have been working hard along with my colleagues to bring these much needed services to life. We've developed a master plan for this campus, which we released to the public earlier this spring. And our summer was spent developing the plans for the first phase of the construction project, necessary abatement, demolition, and renovation, and the start of construction on the Unity House Family Emergency Shelter. So today, I am so pleased to announce that we've started that abatement process, as you heard the mayor describe, on several of the buildings on campus, and demolition begins next week. Towards the entrance of this room are floor plan designs, they're back over here, created in partnership with Miranda Construction, detailing the design of our brand new Unity House Family Shelter. This facility, modeled after the family emergency shelter that we've successfully provided to the community this year, our 40-year anniversary, will be able to accommodate another 29 to 30 families facing a housing crisis. This will essentially put an end to family homelessness in our community. Let's think about that for a moment. What that means, yes, thank you. Let's think about what that means in terms of the impact to these most vulnerable families who will have a safe and stable place to stay so that they'll not be forced to sleep in their vehicles or doubled up with relatives or on the streets of our city tonight. Our families will have hot meals and warm beds. They'll have access to so much more as well. Parents will benefit from a multitude of supportive services to help them regain housing and return to self-sufficiency. And our children will have school supplies, clothes that make them feel confident in the classroom, and time in our Study Buddies program, where we have volunteers come into our shelter and provide customized tutoring services. We want our kids to not miss a beat in their educational journey. Every year, Volunteers of America helps nearly 100 families and more than 200 children in our community secure housing and get back on our feet. With this additional Unity House shelter, we can bring our services to even more families in the community. With this initial phase of our construction project underway, we know it will take some time before this resource is immediately available to our community. So what are we going to do? This winter season is right around the corner. Outside of this space, across the parking lot, is a building currently known as the Guest House. It will be converted into a temporary shelter during the hardest winter months that are right in front of us. It will accommodate families and kids during the construction of the renovations of Unity House. And we're going to keep you informed and updated as this particular part of the project progresses. And I want to invite you to visit our website, where we have a full landing page of details on the Community Care Campus at voamid.org. And I want to reiterate a sentiment that I've expressed on many occasions, and you heard this theme in the mayor's remarks as well. This is a collaborative process. In order to accomplish all that we've envisioned on this campus, and by the deadline we have set, which is 2027, where we will have final construction of 80 units of brand new affordable housing, it's going to require our entire community to come together and make the necessary investments. We know at VOA we cannot do this alone, and we are thrilled to be creating meaningful partnerships with other service providers, healthcare providers, law enforcement, the business community, and the philanthropic community. And I'm thankful that so many of you are with us this morning. I specifically need to thank again Mayor Greenberg and his amazing team, the Kentucky General Assembly for this extraordinary investment, Louisville Metro Council for supporting this project every step of the way, the Coalition for the Homeless, YMCA Safe Place, U of L Health, Family Health Centers, Norton Healthcare, Louisville Metro Police Department, and of course, again, Miranda Construction. Additionally, there is another community partner who could not join us this morning and who will be making a significant contribution to this project. To that end, this is the teaser. I want to invite you to join us next Wednesday at 9 a.m. at Metro Hall. Join Mayor Greenberg and me and this surprise guest who will be making this extraordinary commitment to this project. Now, as I close, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Thursday is Give for Good Louisville. We ask that you join our efforts and support our Unity House and support what we are going to accomplish on this campus. We have experienced the highest census we have ever had at our Unity House program these past several months. Today we have 90 individuals living with us, 31 adults, and 59 kids who are attending 23 different Jefferson County public schools. Think about the impact of our program, holding space, creating community and home temporarily for 90 individuals who otherwise would be on our city streets. So Give for Good is a wonderful opportunity for our community to rally around these families and to show that we will come together to support them, and more families like them that will access the Community Care Campus. I absolutely know we can make this a signature public-private partnership that will become a national model. Together, we will absolutely do this. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for your support. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much, Jennifer. You can tell with all of that going on why we're so excited about the future for the Community Care Campus. Next, you're going to hear from some of the leaders of the General Assembly that I mentioned earlier. And first, I want to welcome our senator who's hosting us here today in his Senate district, someone who has been an advisor and a great partner to me since before I was elected mayor, someone who from our earliest conversations has encouraged me and our administration to focus on those who need support the most in our community and in our state, someone who cares so deeply about the lives of people here in Louisville and across our Commonwealth and has been dedicating his life to public service. Ladies and gentlemen, Senator Gerald Neal.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate those kind words. I don't get them all the time. I just want to point out, this mayor, I have to say this. Every time I call, he responds immediately. Every time we put an issue on the table, he stands up. We have substantive exchanges, and lo and behold, I'm on something else and something materializes. And I find my mayor's behind it. So let's give him a round of applause. And I'd be remiss if I didn't just point out just a absolutely clear fact. The leadership at VOA, Jennifer Hancock is an extraordinary leader. I'm here to say that. And I want to say that because I don't want anybody to miss the power that's come from the insight and the determination and the leadership she's provided to get to this spot right here today. So let's give her another round, please. I want to welcome my friends and colleagues from the General Assembly traveling so far. They've got my president there. He's another individual that has a ready ear, responds, is connected to the human condition. And I think that drives him tremendously in what he does and decisions he makes. I think it's important to acknowledge that, and I appreciate that leadership. And on top of that, we have someone who traveled so far. He gets the So Far Award. My colleague, Representative Rudy, is another individual who feels, he's all the way across, right, in the House, and yet I feel the rumblings of his movements and the sense of what he's trying to do in the community and across these communities. This is another individual who traveled so far to be with us today. Let's give him another round of applause. So I'm not gonna go too much further, but if I don't say something about my friend here, I'm gonna really get messed up here. But I gotta say something here. This is one energetic, on the job, focused individual doing a great job in terms of leadership. Representative Rourke, please. So let me say that it's my pleasure to join everyone here. This is a great thing. This is a very great thing. Connecting these things. You know, you have a problem in terms of how people's lives are being impacted in the street, homelessness. You have that complicated by all kinds of dynamics, including, in some instances, mental health considerations. And there's so many facets to it, but this housing piece, to bring them together, to put them in a safe environment, to have that holistic approach and that nurturing that comes with family and that holistic approach is just extraordinary. That's insightful, but only the collaboration, and in this case, I think the collaboration of individuals who are like mine on this particular subject has made this come about. So this collaboration should not be understated. It's very important. In fact, from the standpoint of the legislature, I find more and more of that happening now. I think that's very good. We're moving more and more in a bipartisan sense. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure some partisan stuff's coming. But I want to tell you, every opportunity that we get that something like this happens and bipartisan voices rise, leadership steps up, we come together to address problems, it heartens me, and I'm sure it heartens you as well. So I want to congratulate the Volunteers of America. I want to congratulate all that were involved in this. And I know the hard work's ahead, and it's it's going to be something we're going to have to address going into the future. But I think it's very important. The funding from the General Assembly cannot be understated. It's key to this process as well. And I got to tell you, when you have when you deal with 120 counties and you deal with 100 representatives and 38 senators, and all of us trying to do the best for their areas, when they can tune in on a location as central and essential as what we're doing here today, you got to say that that's leadership. So I appreciate that that's happened. I appreciate the fact that we're going to go forward in the future, and soon we're going to see the fruits of that effort and continuing efforts going into the future. So I want to thank all of you for coming. Thank you for listening, and thanks for all those who have contributed to this great, great success. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Neal. As I mentioned before, and as you heard Senator Neal say, Leader Rudy wins the award for traveling the furthest distance. But he does that on a regular basis. We have a large state here in Kentucky, and it has been a pleasure to get to know Leader Rudy since I've become mayor over the last year and a half, to listen and understand issues in his district, hopefully explain some of the issues that we're dealing with in our district as well. And I think today is a great example of how through conversations with one another that we can truly accomplish great things. And so I am so honored that we have the House Majority Floor Leader with us here today, someone who was a supporter of House Bill 1, someone who I am excited about how we can partner with in the future for his district, for our district, for all of Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Leader Stephen Rudy.
Thank you, Mayor. It's an honor to be with you today. What is the guy from Paducah doing here? I asked myself that a lot. How did I even get invited? And then I went back to high school. Now, I live in Paducah now, but I was raised in Ballard County. I went to Ballard Memorial High School. Our athletic tradition at Ballard Memorial is not the greatest in the world. But right here in Louisville, there's a high school called Ballard as well. And your athletic tradition there is a little bit better than ours. And we oftentimes got invited to out-of-state tournaments to go and play basketball. And they thought they were inviting the wrong Ballard, but we'd sure go up there and have a good time. And I kind of thought maybe that's what happened again this morning, and while I was invited, it was the wrong Ballard. But it is truly an honor to be with you. The real reason I came is because I was scared to tell Jennifer Hancock no. But no, it was an exciting session, and Mayor, I hate to hear you say that there was still work to be done, because I really thought we had solved all the problems with House Bill 1. This session, actually, it was a phenomenal session of the General Assembly. A lot of things got accomplished that I never dreamed in the 20 years doing here that we would be able to do. We had significant one-time monies facing us in this budget session. And we did in the General Assembly what you would do in your household when you had one-time monies. We paid down debt. We didn't spend it all. We actually saved a lot. And then we made targeted investments. And that is very, very important. But some of the investments, and you heard about the money that we sent directly to Louisville for you guys to decide what best to do with that money, plus individual projects throughout this city and all of Jefferson County, many of which advocated for by my colleagues in the front row here, Representative Witten and Representative Callaway, who do a great job for you as well from this entire city. Folks, we still have many problems, and I'm not naive to those problems. Mayor, you're spot on. There's still work to be done. I want you to know that there's always an open ear in the General Assembly. We will not be able to accomplish all the work that needs to be done and fix all the problems. But we're going to keep working on them, working on as many of them as we can. And I encourage you to do the same. Keep working, never lose sight of the vision, and never get tired of doing good. Thank you so much for including me today, and thank you for all your work, Mayor, and what you're doing to make Louisville a better place to live.
Thank you so much, Leader. I happen to be a proud alumni of Ballard High School, so I particularly enjoyed that story. And I do also want to give a shout out and a thanks to Representative Whitten and Representative Callaway. Thank you for your support of this legislation. Thanks for your partnership on other things that we are working on together for all of Louisville Metro government. And I'm also excited next to introduce another representative from South Louisville, like Representative Whitten and Representative Callaway, and that is Rachel Rorks. Rachel and I got to know each other several years ago, and her energy for this job, for public service, is contagious. We are thankful that you supported House Bill 1, and we thank you for being here with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Representative Rachel Rorks.
Well, thank you all for being here today for this monumentous occasion. The Community Care Campus is truly a great step in addressing one of our most important issues, which is, of course, addressing the issue of homelessness. When I worked at Metro Council as a legislative aide, it was probably the number one call that I would face on a day-to-day basis of what are we doing to get folks the housing that they need and the services that they deserve. And of course, what I learned over that course of time is that it takes a multifaceted solution to solving this great challenge. And we need every tool in our toolbox to be able to address the need that is so vast. And today, we're celebrating the Community Care Campus, which is a resource for all of Louisville, whether you're in East Louisville, South Louisville, downtown Louisville, or West Louisville. And it's not only about housing. It's about providing critical services in one place that truly wraps around an entire individual, young person, family, and sets them on a path to stable housing in the future. Because ultimately, what I've learned over my course of public service in the last 2 years in the General Assembly is that it's not enough to provide housing in a moment. Folks need support to be able to maintain that housing. And our great partners like the VOA are doing just that, helping us make sure that individuals are able to maintain and are set up on a path for success. So I want to say thank you to the VOA for being a strong partner, for stepping up to be a part of the solution. And I know that there are many partners in the room who are willing to step up and say, I'm willing to be the solution. And I also, of course, want to thank the mayor for his vision in using these dollars provided by the General Assembly, but not just the General Assembly, federal money as well from ARP dollars that we've gotten as well.